Okay, so I'm going to show you a really quick and simple way to release any tension in your hamstrings and also your hips. So it should make your lower back and your pelvis feel a lot better. Doesn't take very long. Obviously it's better to have a program where you're doing lots of different types of exercise. I don't think one exercise is going to save you from a lifetime of pain and discomfort, but this is quite a useful exercise. So I'm going to have to go over there so that my body ends up in the shot, and that means the sound might be a little bit echoey. But the first thing is, I would say, just check and see how your hamstrings are feeling. So really just check in with this area, and some of you can maybe bend forward and just get a sense of where it's pulling, where it feels tight, whether it's the lower back or bum or your hammies generally. If you're not very good at balancing, you can get a chair or you can be near a wall. But first thing I'm going to do is just take, I'm starting with my left leg, so I'm going to take the left leg back. So important thing to remember is when you go into this position, which is hip extension, so that's flexion, that's extension, it's actually really hard to take your hip into extension. Most of it is coming from the lower back. So if I take my hands to the lower back there, about L5, I can see it's squishy. So for most people it's squishy already. So I would say, if you're going to take your leg back, make sure that you bring your ribs in and maybe you bend forward so that you're rounding that bit out a little bit rather than compressing where it's already compressed. Okay, now, if someone is really flexible, it's not going to make much difference, but they're probably not suffering the same issues. So you take your left leg back, hold onto your chair if you need to, otherwise take your left foot off the floor. You can see I'm bending my left leg a little bit, pushing out through the ball of my left foot. If you wanted to, you could bring your heel to your bum. So for some people that's going to make their hamstring cramp up, so obviously don't do that. If that's the case, just keep the leg quite straight. But you want to try and round out your back. So bringing your arms forward sometimes reminds you to do that, because sometimes as soon as your arms go back, you're going to a little bit of a back arch. So you hold that for as long as you can comfortably, and then take that left foot to the back of the mat or whatever you're using. Now what you need to do now is feel like you're pushing all your weight into your back foot. That's to start with, and your bum should go nice and firm on the left side, and just feel like you're pushing your right sitting bone, so it's the front leg forward, and you're pushing your left sitting bone towards the back foot. Okay, now if you want to, you can bring your arms forward and come up, but you want to try and keep this left glute nice and firm. So often the more you come up, the bum will naturally go soft in that position, so you have to try and connect and make it firm if you can, just for the sake of this exercise. Okay, if not, come back here because it'll always be firm here, maybe not so firm naturally there. And maybe put your hands on your chair, or you can lean forward, bring your front foot forward, and that should feel a little bit different. Okay, so if you come down now, you're going to feel that's a lot looser, hopefully on your left side. Alright, so I'll take you through the other side so you feel a little bit less lopsided. Okay, so thing to remember, maybe round out your back first, so you're not going to over-arch your lower back. Right leg back. Try and consciously take out that arch in your lower back, which happens when you take your leg backwards. And then from here, take your right foot off the mat. So you can bend the leg a little bit, push into the ball of the foot. Some of you heel to the bottom, knee out to the side a little bit. And hold on if you need to. Try and relax, don't forget to breathe. And then when you're ready, you take that right foot to the back of the mat. So push your weight into the back of the mat like you're trying to get your foot a little bit further back. But try and bring your left sitting bone in this instance, so that's the front leg, forward. It's like just stretching the mat apart. Now if you want to, without arching your back, you can come up a little bit, and you consciously then have to try and keep this right glute firm. Because the more you come up, the softer it ends up in that position. So if it doesn't work, just come down, otherwise just try and connect. I'm not saying squeeze your bum muscles all the time. I know it's fashionable, but it's going to cause problems in the long run if you're keeping your bum tense. elbows, lean into the front foot, come up, see how that feels. Try again, maybe bend your knees first, come down, and that should feel a little bit softer in your lower back and also around your pelvis and your hamstrings. So very simple.